The Chicago Bears are ranked as the worst. That's right, the worst team in the NFL for the upcoming 2022 NFL season. So is this right? Is this wrong? Let's talk about it. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, make sure to hit that big red subscribe button down below. Make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms, people. And as always, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video. All right, let's get into this, all right? So this was a post made by ESPN, an article, if you will, on their ESPN FPI Football Power Index. That's what it stands for. And they basically have this thing where they do every single season. They put out this FPI, and this is a calculation based off of the numbers that they use. And I'll tell you what goes into this calculation. And they basically come out with a number, right? They come out with a number for every single team in the NFL. And that is what they use to rank the teams. So it's not like a subjective number, if you will, in terms of somebody just saying, oh, I think this team is better than that team. No, they're just using straight up numbers. It's all analytics here, people, all right? And they're basically using that to determine the best teams. And so a positive number is good, a negative number is bad. And so the Chicago Bears, all right, and I'll show you guys this article here, or this post here, if you will. The Bears are dead last in their FPI at a rating of minus 13.2. Dead last, okay? Minus 13.2, that is what their rating is. Now, for context, let me tell you guys what their site states. What is ESPN NFL FPI, Football Power Index, all right? So FPI is a measure of team strength that is meant to be the best predictor of a team's performance going forward for the rest of the season. It represents how many points above or below a team is. Projected results are based on 10,000 simulations of the rest of the season using FPI, results to date, and the remaining schedule. Ratings and projections update daily. Okay, so that is what they use to calculate this FPI. Now, right off the bat, let me just tell you this, okay? I have not been a big fan of kind of what the Bears have done this season in terms of their moves, in terms of free agency and the draft. I've let you guys know, a lot of you guys, have been critical at me for it, but again, I'll always be objective, even though I'm obviously a huge fan of the team. This is my team. And so taking a look at this, I still was shocked that they ranked the Bears dead last, because I'll tell you this much right now, right? Like, if we go through this ranking, would I say the Bears are the worst roster in football? And I'm not so sure I would. So just right off the rip, all right, let's just talk about it. They've got the Jets above the Bears. Now, the Jets added a lot of pieces, and, they've given Zach Wilson a lot of help this offseason, right? They drafted Garrett Wilson. They got him a tight end. They got him a running back. They revamped the offensive line. Like, this Jets team is not a joke or a pushover like it's been the past few seasons. So could I see the Jets being better than the Bears? I actually could. So I'm not going to argue that one a lot. Let's move on to the Texans. I think I would take the Bears roster over the Texans. Now, look, I've been critical of what we've done with the wide receiver core, but we've still got a solid running back in David Montgomery. We've still got an ascending solid tight end in Cole Kmet. The defense is okay. What do the Texans really have? You got Davis Mills, who I'll take Justin Fields over him, even though Davis Mills had a solid rookie season. And then, wide receiving wise, you got Brandon Cooks. He's okay. Running back wise, you got really nothing there. Defense is awful. So to me, the Texans aren't a better team. Then we take a look at the Falcons. I think I'll take the Bears roster over the Falcons roster. Okay? It's pretty barren wide receiver corps. I mean, they drafted Drake London. That's good. You got Kyle Pitts, but then outside of that, nothing much more, right? Marcus Mariota is going to be their starter, presumably to start the season. I will take Justin Fields over him. So I'll take the Bears roster over the Falcons. The Jaguars are up next, above them. The Jaguars are a little bit of a weird team because they've got Trevor Lawrence, who's got obviously sky-high potential, and then they overpaid for a bunch of pieces around him. So let's see if those guys pan out, namely, obviously, Christian Kirk. But, okay, it's up for argument. The Jaguars, could I see them being better than the Bears? Perhaps. So I'm not going to say for sure. The Seahawks. I think the Bears could have a better season than the Seahawks. Look, Drew Lock is as inconsistent as they come. They're in, a division where I would say it's pretty tough. You've got, obviously, the defending Super Bowl champs and the Rams in that division. And that division is tougher than the Bears division. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, yeah, they're there, but not having Russell Wilson, that's a huge loss. And even with Russell Wilson, they weren't very good last season. So I would probably take the Bears over the Seahawks. Then we take a look at the teams like the Steelers, okay? Then we got the Panthers, the 49ers, the Lions, Giants. Like, right off the rip, just looking at those teams, I'll tell you, I will take the Bears roster over the Panthers. I'll take it over the Giants. Is the Lions roster really that much better than the Bears? Maybe for the future, but just for 2022, I don't know. So to me, then they've obviously got the Commanders there. To me, I would probably say the Bears should be in the bottom 10, but they should not be last. Okay? I think 20 to 25 or 20 to 27, around that range. I think 32 is too harsh of a ranking. Look, we know this team is not very good, but they're not the worst roster in football. And I know a lot of you guys might be dissing this ESPN Football Power Index ranking, but folks, I looked at last year's ranking. It was fairly accurate, okay? So like for this year, some of the best teams that they have for this year are the Bills, the Packers, the Rams, Chiefs, Bucks, Cowboys, Chargers, Colts, Cardinals. Like, which one would you disagree with? These are some of the top teams in the NFL. Maybe I'll say the Cowboys shouldn't be there, but you get my point. And then if you want to do revisionist history, take a look at last year. Well, they basically had the Bills, the Bucks, the Chiefs, the Rams, the Packers, Patriots. Like, they had the top teams. That ended up being the good one. So to me, it's fairly accurate. And where did they have the Bears last year? Like, let me take a look at what they did last year for the Bears in 2021. I believe they had them somewhere around that range, of 25 maybe, or 26 is what I'm guessing here. Let me just confirm with you guys. So they had the Bears 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. All right. And that's what I feel like the ranking should be again this year. I don't think the Bears ranking should be the worst in football. So again, look, here's the thing. A lot of you guys have said, Faiz, you've been too critical of the Bears. But folks, I've just tried to be as objective as possible at this team. We know the roster isn't very good, but now we're seeing people say that this is the worst roster in football. Again, 2023 is going to be the season because this new regime and management has taken a clear direction. They are rebuilding. They are rebuilding this season, so we should not expect much. And if you don't expect much, your team's not going to be very good. So I'll leave it at that, folks. The Bears are not a great roster, but they're not the worst in football. So let me know what you guys think. Where would you rank the Bears roster in terms of the rest of the NFL? I told you I'd probably do that 20 to 25 range, maybe 25 to 27, around there, somewhere around there. But where would you guys put the Bears? I'd say bottom 10 for me. Leave a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching.